Welcome back to Educator.com's English Grammar course. This lesson is on adverbs. Let's get started. Alright, we're going to begin this lesson with a brief overview. We're going to ask, what is an adverb? What form does it take? What does it do? We're going to look at how to tell adverbs apart from adjectives because they have similar functions but they're different words. And then we're going to look at how to use adverbs correctly. So, to begin with, what is an adverb? Well, an adverb is what's called a modifier. It changes a word that it modifies. In this case, it modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Now, an adverb very often describes when, where, how, why, under what conditions, and to what degree something is or happens. Adverbs often, but not always, end in the suffix ly. Let's look at some examples. All right, adverbs and adjectives. Now, adjectives, as you'll learn from our adjectives lesson, modify nouns or pronouns. They always modify those two parts of speech. Now, adverbs do a similar job. They might describe things like color or quality or the way in which something happens, but they don't modify nouns or pronouns. They always modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs, okay? Now, to make the distinction, remember that only adverbs can modify adjectives and verbs. So ad plus verbs equals adverbs. They modify adjectives and verbs, and other adverbs, of course. Adverbs also very often end in ly, but not always. And remember, just because it ends in ly doesn't mean it's not an adjective. Now, let's look at some concrete examples. We've got a bunch of words here that are repeated and used in different ways. Speak softly and carry a big stick. I buried my head in the soft pillow. The tortoise is a very patient animal. I am waiting patiently for my train. Love your children unconditionally. My dog shows me unconditional affection. I never run, I only walk. And you are the only friend I have. Now, in each of these pairs of sentences, there's a repeated word, and in one half of the pair, it's used as an adjective, and in one half, it's used as an adverb. See if you can pick out the repeated words and figure out which is which. Take a good look. Pause the video if you need to. All right. Speak softly, adverb, ends in ly, and carry a big stick. In this case, it's modifying the verb speak. How do you speak? You speak softly. I buried my head in the soft pillow. Well, soft in this case is modifying pillow, which is a noun. Therefore, soft has to be an adjective. It's not an adverb. The tortoise is a very patient animal. Patient in this case modifies animal, which is a noun, which makes patient an adjective, so it's not an adverb. I am waiting patiently, there's that ly ending, for my train. It's modifying waiting, which is a verb, so it has to be an adverb. It tells you how I'm waiting. How am I waiting? Patiently. Love your children unconditionally. In this case, it modifies the verb love. How should you love your children? Unconditionally. And once again, you've got the ly ending. Now, my dog shows me unconditional affection. Unconditional in this case modifies affection. That tion ending tells you that it's pretty much got to be a noun, which means that this has to be an adjective, so it's not an adverb. I never run, I only walk. Never is a bonus adverb. It tells you how often I run. Never. Only tells you how much or how often I walk. That's the only thing I do. But you look down here, you are the only friend I have. Now it's modifying friend, which is a noun, which makes only here an adjective. So it's all about function. Adverbs modify adjectives, verbs, and other adverbs. Let's go deeper into this. How do you use adverbs correctly? Well, adverbs always modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. We know that. Never use an adverb to modify a noun or pronoun, and never use an adjective in place of an adverb. Let's look at some common mistakes that people make with this. I have heard so many people say this. I did good on the test. I want to strangle people when I hear this. You didn't do good. To do good means to do good deeds. You usually don't do that with a test. Tests don't do good deeds. It is correct to say, I did well on the test. Well is an adverb and it modifies did. How did I do? I did well. It is also correct to say, I got a good grade on the test, because good is now modifying grade, which is a noun. So you can use an adjective like good on grade. All right. Now, I've heard this one before. I'm selling sandwiches, or anything else, cheap. Arg! It is correct to say, I'm selling cheap sandwiches. Sandwiches is a noun. Cheap is an adjective, so it works. It's also correct to say, I'm selling sandwiches cheaply. Now we're modifying selling, which is a verb. How am I selling the sandwiches? Cheaply. What kind of sandwiches are they? Cheap. So you use adjectives for nouns and pronouns, and adverbs for verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Let's look at an example. See if you can find the adverbs in this passage. Now remember, they're the words modifying verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So you're looking for modifiers of modifiers, and modifiers of actions. Take a look. A shepherd boy kept his sheep out in the field. He was often bored, and one day he became so bored that he took up loudly shouting, "Wolf, wolf," so that everyone ran straight out to help him bravely fight off the wolf. But there was no wolf. He had made it up. Everyone ignored the boy thereafter. Later, a wolf actually appeared. The boy cried out for help, but no one listened to him, and the wolf greedily ate all his sheep. This is, of course, the fable of the boy who cried wolf. Now, take a look. See if you can find the adverbs. Pause the video if you need to. All right. A shepherd boy kept his sheep out in the field. Out is modifying kept. Where did he keep? Out. He was often bored. Often modifying the adjective bored. How was he bored? Often. And one day he became so bored. To what degree was he bored? So bored that he took up loudly, there's that ly ending, shouting. Loudly modifies shouting. How was he shouting wolf, wolf? He was shouting it loudly, wolf, wolf. So that everyone ran straight out to help him. Okay, so those both modify ran. How did they run? Straight out. To help him bravely fight off the wolf. Modifies fight. How are they fighting off the wolf? Bravely. And there's that ly ending. But there was no wolf. He had made it up. How did he make it? He made it up. Everyone ignored the boy thereafter. When did they ignore him? Thereafter, from that point on. Later, a wolf actually appeared. Later and actually both modify appeared. When did it appear? Later. How did it appear? Actually. The boy cried out for help, modifies the verb cried. How did he cry? He cried out. But no one listened to him, and the wolf greedily ate all his sheep. How did the wolf eat all his sheep? It ate greedily. That's a lot of adverbs in one paragraph. Let's take a look at another example and see if you can find the adverbs there. Here we have another story, even more famous. Once a hare met a tortoise and boasted of how speedily she could run. Surprisingly, the tortoise challenged the hare then and there to a race. The hare ran so fast and got so far ahead that she decided to lie down and take a nap while the tortoise plodded slowly along. Yet while the hare dozed lazily under a bush, the very clever tortoise kept plodding and soon passed the hare. When she woke up, it was too late. The tortoise had won the race. Take a good look. Pause the video if you need to. Wow, that's a lot of adverbs. Once a hare met a tortoise. When did the meeting occur? Once. A hare met a tortoise and boasted of how speedily she could run. How could she run? Speedily, quickly. Surprisingly, the tortoise challenged the hare then and there. So how was the challenge issued? Surprisingly. And there's that ly ending, and it modifies the verb challenged. Challenged the hare then and there. When and where did it take place? Then and there. So here we are back at challenged, both modifying the verb challenged. The hare ran so fast. That's modifying the adjective fast. How fast? So fast. And got so far ahead, all right, both modifying far, that she decided to lie down. Where did she lie? Down. And take a nap while the tortoise plodded slowly along. Slowly modifies plodded. There's that ly ending again. How did the tortoise plod? Slowly. Yet while the hare dozed lazily, there's that ly again, under a bush, the very clever tortoise. Clever, of course, is an adjective modifying tortoise, but very modifies clever, so it must be an adverb. Kept plodding and soon passed the hare. When did it do the passing? Soon. When she woke up, how did she wake? It was too late. How late was it? Too late. The tortoise had won the race. So as you see, these are all used to modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. They make the story richer and add detail. And that's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching. Educator.com.